Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Art Whisper 88. This is a continuation of my Think Big series. This is a large 16-inch by 20-inch gel plate. And as you can see, I have laid out my reusable stencils. This time I got smarter and I'm using the colored plastic ones, which are easier to spot because the clear ones disappear when they're covered with paint. So as usual, I will be using my Mars Black Blickcrylic as a first layer, and I will first of all, I will roll it out. So this time I'm not so much concerned that it is even. If there are some bare spots, that's okay, because that's my intention. Okay, now I'm just going to do a little texturing with my color shaper. So what the color shaper does is it takes away some of the paint and creates some patterns. Kind of breaks up the monotony of the brayer. Okay, and I'm using the very pointed edge of the color shaper as a marking tool instead of using a stick. Okay. Now I can take the stencils off. So I think that by adding marks, you're adding more information to the image, and having more information makes something more interesting to look at, in my opinion. Okay, I think I have them all. So I will let this dry a little bit. I have a ceiling fan, so That really helps a lot. And I would give it about 5 minutes. As usual, I forgot another one there. So the plan is to overlap some brighter colors, and I'm going to do them in a striped formation. I'm going to start with some Venetian rose. This is by Amsterdam. This is Azo Vermilion. This is Naples Yellow. And for contrast, this is olive green. Now, for some reason, olive green gives this image a very mid-century modern feel. It was very frequently used in the 1940s and the 1950s. Okay. So I will be using my small brayers first. I'm going to start on the Naples Yellow. Then the rose color. And then the Azo Vermilion. And finally, olive green. So I am working in a horizontal direction. Now the reason why I'm using a small brayer is I don't want the colors to blend in too much. If I were using a wider brayer, I'd come out with a very muddy result. Okay. And just to keep things tidy, I will just do an extra wipe on the edges, because sometimes the paint goes over the edge and creates a blot. I just want the edges to be nice and crisp. You don't have to do this. That's just my preference. But every artist has their own preferences and quirks. Okay, so I am going to use my 22 by 30 Richeson paper. And hopefully I will be able to pick up the first layer of black stencil marks. Okay, I will leave this on for about 5 minutes. Okay, this is exciting. Let's see how we made out. I think it's a good transfer. Again, it has a really pleasing satin finish. It's a very kind of spooky looking with these eye spots, and these look like teeth. So I'm going to air dry this and keep going. Okay, everybody, here is round 2 of this printing session. And as you can see, I have arranged my reusable stencils once more. And I made it a point to get rid of the clear ones because they are a source of problems. Now I will use Mars Black. And for some contrast, I will use burnt sienna. This is also made by Blickcrylics. So just add some earthy color to it. Now the paint may have gone underneath the stencil, that's okay. I really don't intend to make it perfect. In fact, I welcome these imperfections. I'm using the corner of the color shaper to make marks. Okay. So some shapes will be very clear and some will be a little kind of blurry. Actually, I do want to clean this up. I always remember what my professor said in printmaking class. She said, never do this. Those are the things that I remember. Okay, so I will let this dry. And then apply some brighter colors on top. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. Let me add some bright red. This is Azo Vermilion. Maybe I'll make this a little brighter than the other one. Here's some cadmium yellow light. And magenta. Okay. Let me use my two and a half inch roller. I'll work on the bright yellow first. And then the red. This time I am trying to spread the second layer as thinly as I can. Just to make sure I get a nice transfer. Okay. Let me just add some random marks. Okay. I'm putting a firm pressure on the paper. Okay, so I will leave this again for another 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes under the ceiling fan, and I had a chance to wash out my stencils. Let's see how we did. Wow, pretty dramatic with the bright red and magenta. I even like the mark of the rag. Very cool. I like this one better than the first one. It's a little more cheery. So let me air dry both of them, and I'll see if I can do a third step. Okay, now this is what I call pushing the envelope. Because many of you might say that print is good enough and you should stop. But I think it needs a third layer, and I'm gonna try bronze and see what happens. I think the bronze will brighten up the somber atmosphere of the first print. Now, since this is just one color, I'm going to spread it as thinly and as evenly as I can. Okay. So here is the first print. Hopefully the bronze is going to brighten things up. Okay, I didn't wait 5 minutes. This is a lot sooner. I think that did the trick. I like this a lot. Now, this is an example of when your registration works properly, it really makes a huge difference. Very cool. I'm very pleased with this. It's not as spooky looking anymore. Okay. I'll see if this can pick up the whatever leftover metallic paint there is. This time I will leave this on a lot longer. Hopefully it will pick up whatever leftover paint there is. Okay, let's see how we did here. No, it didn't work. No. All right. I will try something else. You'll see. And I think it will work. Okay, everybody. I am arranging my stencils again. I just washed them and I'm going to use this pearl yellow and apply it as a second layer for the second print and see what happens. Now here's the result of the second attempt. I think it's very successful. I'm very pleased with it. I think the camera failed when I was washing out the stencils, but at least you can see the final result, which I'm very, very happy with. I will recap in a moment. I'm going to show you the close-up shots of the two pieces. So don't go away. Okay, everybody, here's to recap. This is the part where I can show you the close-ups. As you can see, the layer of bronze makes a huge difference. And it has a very mesh-like, net-like texture. And it sort of counteracts the very somber nature of the first layer. It had a lot of black in it. Now it has this beautiful metallic shine. It changes with the light. So that is the first piece. Let me show you the second one. Now, unfortunately, my camera failed when I was rolling out the paint. Now, this is the second layer. It's called Pearl Yellow, made by Amsterdam. And it's really very beautiful. It goes on white. At first, I thought, what kind of color is this? It doesn't look like anything. But when it dries, it's this beautiful golden, almost like a gold leaf. But here's a close-up. And I think the gold interacts very nicely with the reds and the magenta. Almost like a veil, this iridescent veil. So it creates the illusion of depth. Let me see if I can put these side by side. I think they make a nice pair as well. They're both metallic. So I hope you like this video. I apologize for the technical difficulties, because my camera sometimes just stops without warning. So, but I think you get the idea of the sequence of events. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. Please check out artwhisper88.com, which is my storefront. These prints are for sale, and the proceeds of the sales help to keep this channel going. It helps pay for production costs, art supplies, paper, brayers, etc., etc. Thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.